All right, here we go. John Salley, welcome back to VladTV. I wish you were here under happier circumstances,
Yeah.
but unfortunately there's a lot of sad events that are happening right now. The most important of which is you actually just lost your mother.
I lost my mom, Maisie, 96 years on the planet. I kept her alive like an extra 15. She used to say to me, "How long you want me to live, John?" I said, "I just don't have time for a funeral." And so we did everything holistically. She did that with me. She moved out here and lived the life. Went back to Atlanta, 20 pounds lighter. No longer needed a stent. Told her doctor, I was out there with my son and all his weirdos poking at my body. And he said, keep your son away from my clients. But you're living in Atlanta, still you want to cook the fried chicken, because she had great fried chicken. She was good at frying. She was great at cooking. And the biscuits that people, even after the afterpass, the Black House, they were like, man, we wish there was some biscuits here. I was like, they can't. The lady's dead. Like, she can't wake up, make you ungrateful motherfucker. But it was cool. My brother Ron got to speak. My brother Jerry did a great job. I got to speak through some tears.
Well, you cried at the funeral.
Yeah, I usually don't cry at stuff like that, but it was a trip. I looked out at everybody and it was like, do I have to remember names? So it was in between.
Yeah, my father passed a couple months ago, and me and you spoke around that time, and then you hit me about this news, and me and you spoke.
Yeah.
I sent some flowers to the
I
funeral.
appreciate it. The flowers were dope. Send you the picture back on.
Yeah, you did.
I said,
Thank you.
where's the Vlad flowers? They're like the big one over there in the corner.
I actually found a local florist, a local family-owned florist in Decatur, purposely,
Really?
and spoke to them about it and had them, make
That's
sure that I
dope.
personally had them send
That's
it over. I
dope.
didn't want to go through a 1-800-Flowers or whatever. I wanted someone from the
Well,
community.
you shouldn't say that, because they're great sponsors on YouTube. 1-800-Flowers. Trying to help you out here.
Oh man, sad. Very
Yeah.
sad losing a parent. It's something that's going to affect you long term, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I'd like to say it doesn't, but it does.
Yeah, my brothers and I, we deal with death differently than a lot of people. We make a lot of comedy in it. So there was, besides my brother Ron, Jerry made some jokes, which were great. I made some jokes. And then when my father died, we were in the car, in the limo. And at the time, my sister-in-law, who was my brother Jerry, turned around and said, how could you guys sit back there and joke, and your father's in the car in front of us in a hearse? And my mother said, turn around. And she said, what? She said, turn around. That's how my boys deal with death. They laugh at it. And we were like, yeah, turn around. And we acted like she was a teacher. So I guess it's the comedy love I have, but I try to find the things that make me smile about the person.
Well, look, and this is something that we spoke about after you told me. Your mom lived to 96 years old.
Yeah.
She got to see her son live out his dreams and become an international superstar.
I appreciate that.
4 rings.
Yeah.
She lived to see her grandkids, probably from a bunch of her kids.
Great grandkid.
Great grandkids. She'd have to work until, she couldn't work anymore. She got to retire and be well taken care of through your own work.
62 years old.
At 62 years old. She wasn't the greeter at Walmart at 75 trying to pay her rent because Social Security is only $500 a month.
And your kid moved back in the house.
Your kid moved back in the house. Who could really ask for more, honestly? We should all be as lucky as your mother.
Yeah, I tell her all the time. I said, boy, you taught me a lot with my daughters. And she was like, oh, I couldn't raise girls. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't raise boys. It was like, I guess we did the same thing. And she always was not tough on them, but they all have their own memory of them. They all found out what it's like when you're in your own house and you don't have a bra on. My daughters, they always talk about that memory, which I said, that is the craziest thing. And as they got older, they said, the first thing I wanted to do was like, Grandma, take my bra off. And I was like, wow. Things that your kids said.
My condolences,
Yeah,
man. My condolences to Mama
it.
Salley. Well, right after that situation happened, just this past weekend, we had the biggest sports tragedy of all time.
Yeah.
Not to say that there haven't been thousands of other tragedies over the years. I mean, a whole rugby team died and so forth. Football team died. But on the caliber of this, I can't think of any other tragedy of someone on the level of a Kobe Bryant and his daughter, a superstar bigger than the sport itself.
Yeah.
Passing away in the most horrific way possible.
Yeah. And I was cleaning my mother's bedroom out, my last run through. And my boy Darren called me from Texas and was like, John, I got to tell you this bad news. And I said, oh, what? And he tells me, and I go, you got to be bullshitting me. He goes, nah, man. I had to tell you first. You know, it was like TMZ won't report something unless it's definite. And I guess it was like 1 second off the line when they confirmed it, so he called me. I just walked out the house, took some deep breaths, talked to him for a second and went back in and told my family. And then I just sat on the bed and started crying. And it was a trip too, because like I said, I only cried at Heavy D, Nipsey's funeral, now my mom's and Kobe's passing. And the emotion, the things that go through your mind was amazing. I'm always in business with my daughter Tyler, and Deuce's 22. And sometimes I have arguments with my daughter Gigi. It just literally, when I was like, his Gigi died, it just hit me entirely different. It was like, okay, I got this, I bought this purple thing just to show off, but now I got to use it because you ain't got no tissue. But I thought,
take a moment.
Yeah, that's cool. I thought, like, who am I gonna call? And I text Brian Shaw, and he was like, "This is crazy, Sal. I love you." And I hit Glenn Rice. I didn't get it, didn't get a hit back yet. But it's like, I didn't say anything too big. But in my brain, when Michael Jackson died in 2009, I was like, what happens now? Like, oh my God, I'm at the Staples Center looking at a gold casket, not feeling it. Like, I love Michael, but Kobe. I said to him, so you're going to be the next Michael Jordan? He was like, nah, I'm going to be the first Kobe Bryant. I literally got punched in the stomach by Oakley for telling Michael Jordan in his face, I thought Kobe was better than him at 27. I get punched. Dave Chappelle said, I wish I had a show. This is an episode. Chris Tucker and they all laughing at me. I'm out of breath. But I literally love this kid's game like I like Dr. J's game. And I would tell people that. I was like, this kid is entirely different. I had him at 20 years old, and I'm seeing it. And he always talked about doing everything. Like I said, why did you not go? I want to do it young. I want to play against Michael. I do everything young. I get married young. I'm going to retire, you know what I'm saying? I'm young, he thought. So for 20 years, right? Vanessa had him for 19 or 20 years. Vanessa had him for 20 years. So it's a trip. It's like Aaliyah. Certain people do things in the amount of time they have that we think is so short amount of time. But they do some amazing things in that short span.
Well, 9 people died on this flight.
Yeah.
I mean, Kobe, his 13-year-old daughter, which really that was the one that really shook me up. Because at first it was just Kobe.
Yeah.
And then you find out, and it was being reported that he survived by his 4 daughters and his wife. And then, oh damn, his 13-year-old was on the flight, along with a couple of her friends and a couple of, like a coach and, his wife and, the pilot. Oddly enough, this was the same helicopter that he took to his retirement celebration at the Staples Center. Were you there?
No. Yeah, well, it can hold 10. So having 9 and 4 of them being small bodies.
Yeah. Yeah, it was basically a situation, I've been reading articles about it. There's no black box in this particular helicopter, so we're not going to know exactly what happened, but based on the flight information and the communications, it just, and this happened literally down the street from my house.
Yeah.
In Calabasas, like literally down the street. And from what I understand, the pilot should have turned back because the weather conditions were just too foggy. But you don't want to tell a VIP like Kobe Bryant that we have to go stop at this random airport and you have to call your car service to go drive you to where you need to go.
They will now.
Oh yeah.
They're it's a trip. Guys started getting to the point, regrettably after Aaliyah dies, you're not just going to rush and get on a plane, the cheapest one. That's no longer the thought process. It shouldn't be. And for these companies and every so-called celeb or anybody who can afford this kind of transportation should realize their safety is first.
Yeah, I mean, because the Aaliyah situation, I read into that somewhat recently. It was literally, she was trying to fly back. She was on some Caribbean island. Mm-hmm. She wanted to fly back. The plane was overloaded. Mm-hmm. It was a pilot that wasn't even supposed to fly. And she just got, she pressured the pilot to take off, even though the plane was too heavy. It took off and literally just went slamming down into the ground. Very similar situation in a certain way.
Right. What I meant by that is, like, of course you can, usually when you're in a position like that, you want anything you want. They were going to a basketball tournament, they had to be there, this is the best way of getting there. They're not going to get there if this doesn't happen. Okay, we can make this happen. We just have to, that rah-rah push through mentality.
Yeah.
This will change the mind of everybody. People like I get in my car and put my seatbelt on now. When I was learning how to drive, you only did that for the instructor.
Oh, I always wore my seatbelt.
Oh, yeah?
Every time.
You only did that for the instructor when you were getting your license. People didn't wear, what did we call it back in the day, safety belt? Plus, in my mom's car, it only went here.
Right, the old school, yeah.
So
the shoulder strap wasn't around
yeah, there's no reason, It just woke everybody up. I mean, I have literally buried the hatchet with anybody. Well, I didn't have that many people at me before, but I don't have any ill will. I'm becoming more and more conscious every day that this is temporary. This is temporary, and no matter what you have in the bank or don't have in the bank, this is happening.
Yeah, because people look at Kobe like a Superman.
Yeah.
Like bullets will bounce off of him, and he'll lift a car up. If someone's in trouble, and he has all this money and all this fame, and he can go into any neighborhood in LA, and everyone loves him. And
that's a true statement.
I know it's a true statement. That's why people look at him a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But we're all just flesh and blood and bones and organs, and we're fragile. And nobody could have potentially survived that at all. I've seen some of the pictures. I guess there was a guy that had a bicycle that was kind of hiking in the nearby area, and he described the whole crash. It was just like a big fireball. Like, it was just
Yeah, there was
horrific.
no getting out of that. And it wasn't like, he was going to run out of it and save as many as he can, like
No.
iRobot. Especially, it was human error, misjudgment, I would say.
Yeah. Well, there's always been the Jordan comparisons, which are just going to intensify now.
Yeah.
I was going through some interviews.
My comments?
Well, there's your comments, but I want to bring up a couple others. Pippen, someone who you played with yourself, that has commented on our interviews. He said that, in this one interview, he said, I remember when Kobe first got into the league, I told Michael Jordan, this kid plays like you, talks like you, walks like you. He even sticks his tongue out like you. He's going to be special.
Yeah. I realized that Kobe was, so I explain this to people. Kobe was living in Italy. And even though Jelly Beans is Pops and Dr. J's was Philly, Michael Jordan was the Dr. J for Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did is watch tape after tape after tape. When I was on the Lakers, he still had VHS tapes of other great players. Clyde Drexler, David Thompson. I talked about Sidney Moncrief, Tiny Archibald. He would know these players. No, but I say that name now. It sounds like a name. If I say Tiny Archibald, you think I'm talking about somebody out of Harry Potter. You're not going to realize that he was probably the best point guard to play in this league. He just knew so much. And that comment, I'm going to be the first Kobe Bryant. And like I said on your show before, why'd you come out? So I can play against Michael.
Yeah, you said that he literally skipped college so he could play Michael Jordan.
Yeah, and then think about this. Jerry West, probably the smartest executive ever. He was number 13 pick. He was traded from Charlotte before Charlotte knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. And this kid's gonna be special. And I was watching Michael Rappaport on his Instagram. He was like, you remember airball Kobe? He came down and shot the last shot and zoop. It was like, you remember that day? And he remembered it probably better. And Kobe would play one-on-one with me after every practice. I had nothing to do. I'm 36. I don't mind, defending you. I like the kid. I went to see him in the studio, do his record. People said he couldn't rhyme. I thought he could rhyme. I thought it was dope. They were like, no, you're just being nice. I was in the studio. I thought he was putting it together right. But I just think this is a person who did whatever he wanted, how he wanted to do it. I remember he had a black matte Mercedes with black windows and matte rims. And they were like, yo, why Kobe don't get his rims clean? Mm. I swear, they said that. Now, he was like, Sal, they don't, this, he said, you know what? I just leave it in Europe. This is my Europe. This is how we do it. And sure enough, it became style in America.
Especially LA.
Yeah.
Especially LA.
He was way up on that game before.
Man, listen, he took Brandy to his high school senior prom.
Yeah, her to her senior prom.
No, his senior prom.
That's right.
She went to Kobe's high school to his, because
one
of his high school classmates just did a video about this and actually showed the picture. There was paparazzi at this high school because of Brandy and Kobe.
That's right. It was, and this is the funniest thing. I remember when I asked him about Vanessa, and I said, why'd you pick her? My friend was Miss Puerto Rico. She was in the video too, but it is. And she still lives here in LA. So
wait, you're saying Vanessa Bryant?
She was in the
video. Was
in
his hip hop video?
Yeah.
I did not know this.
Yeah.
That's how they met?
Yeah.
Okay.
And but Meredez was like Miss Puerto Rico. She's banging. I was like, she's fine. He goes, yeah. He goes, well, everybody was whatever. He goes, that's me right there. I was like, really? He goes, yeah, she's a superstar. And he was right. She is a superstar. Moretta's is still Miss Puerto Rico, fine as hell. But Vanessa really did, she was already pretty, but what she came, think about the support she had for Kobe. Talking about, you know, my wife is as fearless as that too. I got a good one, but man, can you imagine? And everybody wanted to talk about the ring, the $4 million sorry ring. No, forget that. Forget that. What she had to do to sit there and stand by his side, tell you, I'm still with you. Amazing female.
Yeah, imagine the phone call. Well, she actually found out through TMZ. TMZ broke the story before the family was told.
Really?
Really. TMZ is good for this type of thing.
Yeah,
I mean, they broke the Michael Jackson death before the
it made them
the
a
family
network.
was told.
Yeah, it made them a network.
Yeah, I mean, to hear that your husband and middle daughter just died horrifically. You know, and I heard that the two of them had a agreement to never fly helicopters at the same time.
Yeah, that's a good. My brother Ron is like that. We should never. All three of us should never be on a flight. And I used to be like, okay, yeah.
Well,
It wouldn't happen in my house. they'd be like shotguns. They would be calling seats. You getting a helicopter, Negro? I'm getting a helicopter.
well, your friend Gilbert Arenas,
Yeah.
he told a very interesting story
What is
about Kobe and Jordan. So, Jordan's with the Washington Wizards, and they play in Washington. Jordan beats Kobe. At the end of the game, he smacks Kobe on the butt and said, "You can put the shoes on, but you'll never feel them." Kobe stopped talking to his teammates for 2 weeks. Literally would not say anything to anybody. And when they talked to Phil Jackson, the teammates were like, what's going on? What's going on? So Phil's like, well, Jordan told him that comment and it upset him. So they already knew what was coming. So then the Wizards came to Los Angeles to play. Kobe scored 42 points in the first half and scored 55 points in that game on Jordan.
Which a lot of people don't say. So I get on this guy's show. I'm not going to say his name, Cowherd. And while I was filling in, and I was on First Take First. And one of these guys said, you know, arguably, undeniably the greatest player of all time. I said, he's not the greatest player of all time. I said, he was the best player in the 90s, or the beginning half of the 90s, but not of all time. Like, yo, there was a guy named Dr. J before him. There was a guy, you know, I start going down the line. And they were like, John Salley doesn't put Michael in his top 5 because he's my contemporary. I played against him in college. I played against him in the pros. I watched him go home. I watched him not talk to me after game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he bleeds. I know how he bleeds. So he's not my favorite player. My favorite player is Dr. J. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. So LeBron's favorite player is Kobe Bryant.
Right.
He's not Michael Jordan. Kobe's favorite player is Michael Jordan. That's just how it works.
Who was Jordan's favorite player?
Dr. J.
Dr. J.
So all of us
love
Dr. J. So can you imagine you get to this point, and I said that, and I told somebody, I said, I know Michael. Michael has Scotty, him, and Harper would lift at 7 o'clock in the morning. They would have dinner at 4:30, knowing it was going to be digested by 7:30. They would, you know, eat, get over to the game, walk it through, see some things, you know, get on the bike because they know that food was digested. I mean, this much of a thought process. Kobe, same thing. When Kobe found out that Larry Bird shot 500 shots or 1,000 shots, he shot 1,500. And he would do it. And he was double jointed, and he would want to play all the time. This true statement. So he turns 21. We're in Miami. You know, I used to play in Miami. I have my house in Miami. It was still happening. And I go, Cole, yo, you can go out with me tonight. I got it all hooked up. I got we on the outside joint called Amnesia. Forgot what it's called now. But we go out, and he's with me. And none of my teammates can believe Kobe's out. Because he never
goes out. You never see Kobe in the clubs.
Never.
You never see him
I
drunk.
got him. Did I tell you? I got him. Sal, how'd you get Kobe out? That's what I do, son. To the point where the girls turned around and saw it was Kobe Bryant, ran to, I'm not bullshitting you. They all go to the bathroom and come back looking 10 times better than they did when they left the house. And they all are bum rushing Kobe. I mean, broads would like boom, 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 boom. And he was like, yeah, how you doing? Yeah, talking. He just called. And he's just sitting there. Everybody, nobody's getting past this wall. He's no security. So, boom, 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 Sal, yeah. I gotta get back to the hotel. I'm like, damn, that was quick. Like, who we taking? He's like, no. What? He goes, no, I got to train in the morning. I got Vanessa. I don't want none of this stuff. I never go out. I only came out because it's you. I then drive him back to the hotel because he flies his trainer in to train when he's on the road. So at 6 o'clock in the morning, this kid is training. So I tell people all the time, I see it entirely different. To go through what he did in Vail, Colorado, I'm sorry, Eagle Rock, just outside Vail, and to be able to play the game and his only space is that, like, dog, we would have these conversations. We would never talk about any of the case. And I was like, I'm taking this to my grave, but Kobe cannot. We would just talk about everything but that and in the photo. And watching him still go through it, and then going through it with the Shaquille situation. Then he had Karl Malone on the team and Gary Payton on the squad, like everybody, you know, and he's going through trying to save his life from going to jail. To come out of that and to flourish, only person I seen do that as successful was Vanessa Williams after the debacle with Vanessa Williams. He just literally was stronger than most people.
Well, we had a video that was on our YouTube channel where I guess some guy was heckling Kobe, so he like shoots back his top three. He said Will Chamberlain, himself, and then Jordan.
He left Jerry West out?
Those were his three.
Let me tell you, the cool part is that now it's because of this tragedy. I said this to my barber, Enzo, this morning. He, we play in the barbershop. Just let you know, you got all the barbershops. New Life Barbershop right here in Encino is playing you, and it's pictures of Jordan and Kobe. He's the biggest Kobe fan ever, biggest Laker fan. And I said, now what I've been saying for all these years, I wasn't saying it like Jalen said because I hate the Bulls. I love the Bulls. I love Michael Jordan, one of my favorites. But this kid Kobe Bryant and Michael, I said at 27. I don't know, man. 27, Kobe was a different beast.
Well, you were originally a bad boy.
Yeah.
And Detroit and LA had kind of a long-standing generational rivalry. Mm-hmm. Goes back to the Magic and Isaiah and everything else like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't believe my brother asked me when I first got on the Lakers. I said, yeah, I'm on the squad. He goes, how are you wearing a yellow jersey? And I used to be like, I know, and it's so sticky. You know, like Laker jerseys. You see LeBron, they're like extra tighter than everybody else's jersey. And I don't know, it's because they want to show your goods or whatever, but it was so tight. Oh, my God. It's the only jersey, well, I don't have my Toronto Raptor, but that Laker jersey, once I put it on, you just feel different. It'd be like, I guess, putting on a Celtic jersey. You just feel different. You do. You feel different.
Well, you joined in the 99-2000 season.
Yeah.
So here you are playing for the Lakers with Kobe.
Right.
What was it like in the beginning? Was Kobe involved in bringing you onto the team?
No.
No.
So that's funny. I called Phil Jackson watching Kobe and Shaq lose in 99. That was the short season. And they had a full squad too. And I was like, you're not gonna let these two guys not win a championship. All they need is the system, and they would win a championship. He was like, why are you calling me, Sal? I said, I just saw it and just thought you'd be a good coach here, man. Like, you watching this? He goes, you haven't been talking to anybody? I said, who am I gonna talk to? He goes, yeah, I'm taking that job, but it's not going to be announced for a while. I said, oh, you got to have me on this team. I said, I live 5 doors from Shaq. You know, I know the offense. Like, you need some leadership on this squad. That's all. That's me vying for a job. He goes, well, have you talked to Jerry? I said, nah. He said, you in shape? I go, you know, I stay in shape. That's who I am. And he goes, all right, well, tell Jerry, I guess he's going to want to see you down at UCLA. Just go down there and play some pickup. Like, I had been eating Oreos and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, smoking cigars, drinking scotch. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm living the life. Man, I start running every day down San Vicente. I'm trying to get my life together. It was hard to do, but I'm getting it all right. And I come into UCLA, put my goggles on, and I'm just doing what I do, catching the ball, playing smart, passing, rebounding. You know, they're not realizing I'm not jumping, but most big guys don't. And then it was me and Benoit Benjamin, and they literally had us on, like, working out. And then we go through preseason, and I got to beat out Benoit Benjamin. And when I tell you, every night I'm getting my leg massage. Like, I'm having somebody come in and work my body out, and I'm getting up extra early just trying to get going. And I'm up extra early working it, and Kobe's already in there shooting. So it was, you know, him bringing me in, me getting to the point. Then I would hang with him a couple of places, TGI Fridays, I'd watch film with him, went to the studio. And I would sometimes just sit next to him on the plane because he was introverted. And I said, why you like that? He goes, dude, I'm 19 years old, 20 years old. I can't go out with these guys. They don't like the same things I like, you know what I'm saying? So I would just kick it. And I just watched him. And I watched him, as they said, that walk, that look over his shoulder, the tone was so MJ till he developed his own tone and became more comfortable speaking in front of the camera. He just blew it. Like I said, he was on the path, and then he trailblazed his own path. But it came off of his father being Jelly Bean and having that attitude, but not being able to do it because Dr. J was there. Mm-hmm. And growing up in Philly, growing up Jelly Bean's kid, knowing, you know, I was next to the great Dr. J. Greatness wasn't going to be a problem for him.
You used to play one-on-one with him.
Yeah.
Who would usually win?
I won every one-on-one game. And no one can refute that now.
You won every one-on-one game.
I don't know if I won every one, but
most of them.
He would be highly upset if we played a 3 and I win, or played a 5. Like, he's constant. When I tell you, I would get to practice early. He would be coming from Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym. He would go from the Palisades, he lived in the Palisades at the time, to Gold's Gym to practice. This guy, I mean, that committed all the time. And we practiced at Southwest College when I first got there. They didn't have the facility yet. We practiced in there until the facility was built.
Oh yeah, I think I don't know if this was in response to the whole Kawhi Leonard load management situation, but Kobe was quoted saying that the only time he wouldn't play is when he couldn't walk. He would not take any days off until that, I guess, the Achilles tendon injury. That was the only time he did not play.
And he walked off like, yeah, something's wrong. Don't touch me. I got it. Yeah, like then he's not going to let you see him. Oh, he might come back. He wanted that. He wanted that point. Think about how smart he was to have the camera follow him the last 2 years, too. You know, he's realizing that this is going to be some great things he's going to do. So I want the camera. I want people to see it.
Oh, yeah, he was like a Muhammad Ali. He knew that he was going to have a very serious legacy, and he wanted to document it along the way. You know, I interviewed Baron Davis not too long ago, and he was saying how he played one-on-one with Kobe and how Kobe played bully ball with him. Well, you actually played one-on-one with Kobe Bryant once.
When I was in college,
Yeah.
after I hurt my knee,
Yeah.
yeah, so I wasn't supposed to play. Kobe Bryant came up to practice. The team was practicing. I was on the sideline. It was during the lockout, so he went to the side court, started shooting, and I started sliding my way over there to rebound for him.
Right.
I knew I wanted to fade. And I knew I wasn't supposed to be playing. I was like maybe a month and a half, 2 months away from being cleared to play. And I was just rebounding. And I was like, man, you want some light defense? And then it turned into a nice little one-on-one battle with me and Kobe. I think he beat me 2-1. But the only reason why he beat me, though, is because he took advantage of my handicap. And he backed me down.
Smart.
And he was stronger than me. And that was like, you know, that's usually a dude go-to move. It's like they got to back me. You know, it's like, you know, he basically played bully ball to win. But the crazy thing is our UCLA practice was going on, and everybody on the team started crowding around our court, watching me and Kobe play one-on-one. It was crazy.
Yeah. What's funny, the Barrett said that because he's a bully ball player.
Sometimes the bully gets bullied, you know?
But think about how they had to talk Kobe out of not playing at the Drew. He literally got exempt from the NBA to play at Rucker. They were like, all right, you get hurt, it's on you. And he literally signed that away just to have that experience. He knew better, I guess he was married with kids now, to do that than he did when he was younger. But just that mentality, I want to play where the greats play. In order to do that, in order to be great, you have to do what the greats have done.
Yeah. Well, you won your 4th championship with Kobe. How did that feel?
Well, one, it felt great because I think he was the first person I picked up. It felt great because I knew, and we kind of got into a spiff into one of the Portland game, because I was talking about where to pass the ball. He was like, I got it, OG, and he hit me with the towel. And B. Shaw was like, Sal. I was like, did you see that? He said, I want to punch him in the face. He was like, that's why you can't be a coach. But, you know, and Kobe was playing a game within a game. And it was so funny that if you watch that Portland game, he comes down, everybody thinks he's going to lay it up, and he throws the alley-oop to Shaq, who we could not throw the ball to because they was going to foul him. And that was Shaq's first 2 points. When Kobe came down, Glenn hit the 3, B. Shaw hit the 3, Rick Fox went, Robert Horry came down and hit a big basket, and then Kobe goes to the basket and throws the alley-oop so Shaq can get it. And that's the only piece you saw. But we were down 15. And it was like 4 3-pointers and Shaq and Kobe and then the dagger. So think about this. I have pictures and video that I'm waiting to release. Shaq carrying Kobe, where they have it too. He hurt his ankle in the championship game, and he has the boot on, which really is cold. The boot is this thing full of ice water, and it compresses, and it vibrates through. It's the coldest thing you can possibly put on your body. He's wearing it like it's no problem because he has to play against Reggie Miller. He's not going to not play against Reggie Miller. And he can barely walk. Shaq carries him on his back. So those are the times. I got pictures of that because I took pictures of everything. I videoed everything. I remember that stuff. And I just remembering bad people were getting into Shaq's ear that Shaq realized are not good people. Now he does, hindsight is 20/20, that they didn't have to go through that.
In terms of him leaving the Lakers.
Yeah, or any animosity or jealousy or he say, she say.
At one point, they got into an actual fight during the scrimmage game.
Well, that's good.
Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, it's always better when you get that out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because a fight's never really about what it is. It's about something else.
Right.
It's constantly. So that was good. I think that was good that whatever, one, that they can stand up for each other. But two, I know the person that's hurting crazy is Shaquille.
Oh, yeah, he says he's not well right now.
Them not playing the game, smartest move the Lakers could have ever done. I have seen teams lose over the dumbest things in the world. Be great teams, and the smallest thing would mess the team up. This is huge. The whole team would be messed up forever, unless they regroup.
Yeah, I was watching a Phil Jackson interview this morning, and he had just released his book, 11 Rings. And the interviewer asked him, what is the recipe for an NBA team to win the championship? And his answer was love. This team has to love each other. They have to protect each other. They have to know each other's strengths and weaknesses and come in and really care for each other. It doesn't matter how great all the players are. If there's not a genuine love in that team will never get to the very finals, to the championship. And you played with Phil Jackson in LA as well as Chicago. Would you say that love was there in both of those teams?
Yeah. And I can give you the best idea. They had the best Laker team you could in 2006. They had Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Shaquille, Kobe, and the Pistons beat them because Rasheed and Chauncey and oh man, it just went blank. Big Ben and they loved each other. They knew this is all we have, and we're going against Goliath, and this is how we got to get down. Prince, pour my number, deuces for life. They had more love. The Lakers didn't. They had a broken up squad. It had 5 individuals not come together.
Yeah.
But when Kobe goes back to win the championship in 2010, those guys, him being able to talk the power away. Everybody can say what they want about Paul Gasol. Kobe and him had a different relationship on how it moves. And those guys had to literally get along and realize this is the leader, and what he's doing is taking all the pressure. All we got to do is ride. And he had to love that.
Well, in his final game, Kobe scored 61 points.
Yep.
Were you there?
Nope.
Watch on TV?
I saw the last 40 points.
So
I don't like going to sporting events.
No?
Because you can't see it.
Well, if you're on the floor, you can.
No, if you're on the bench, even then, we look up at the board. You can only see from this point of view.
Yeah.
And when I'm watching television, thank God for television, it gives you every angle and analysis. So I like watching it. I like using my own bathroom. So sporting events, I don't like. Now concerts with music, I'd rather watch a concert in person than to listen to somebody's record. That's where I'm different.
Well, both Shaquille O'Neal and Magic Johnson said that Kobe is the greatest Laker of all time.
That's big. And That's amazing that they said that.
Right, because Magic has 5 rings also.
And Kareem has 6.
Kareem has 6.
And Kareem, this is why I agree.
The greatest Laker of all time.
Greatest Laker, even though Jerry West was on the squad, the greatest Laker of all time is Kobe Bryant.
He played on the same team from 18 years old until the day he retired.
Yeah. And won 5 championships. Would go to the games. So imagine he's going to the games. He's not talking smack about anything. And his agent becomes a general manager. I'm sure he has, some say so. Yeah, some say so.
Well, he's a 5-time NBA champion, like we just said. 2 times Finals MVP. 2007, 2008 NBA MVP. 2-time Olympic gold medalist. 18-time All-Star. And he also has an Oscar.
And he has an Oscar. And I said, it's the only thing I said. I said, dog, you beat me to the only thing I ever really wanted that basketball players don't get is an Oscar. But the only reason he wasn't an All-Star for 2 of those years because he was injured.
Yeah.
So people need to know that. Like, he still got voted, and he wasn't even playing that year. Have 5 kids?
4 kids.
4 kids, and his wife just had...
No, 4 kids total.
4 kids total.
Yeah. All girls.
That's how life gets you.
All girls. And there's this video that's kind of circulating right now where it was this woman, this sports announcer talked about how she ran into him.
Yeah, I saw that
while
this
she was
morning.
pregnant. And they were talking about she was pregnant with a girl, and she's like, you have, at the time he had 3 girls, and what if you have another girl? And he said, I wish I could have 5 more girls.
Yeah.
I love having girls. The Mamba Academy, Sports Academy, was focused on girls.
Yep. Let me tell you, I got 4 daughters too. I know it. It's hard being pulled 4 different directions. It is, man. It's the favoritism thing. Everybody wants you to be in this one way. But it's yeah, I saw her speak about that, and she was holding back tears, and she found that picture. And I say too, I have a different respect for women living in a house now with my sister-in-law and her 2 kids and my daughters and my wife. And at one time it was just me and my dog. We were only 2 males in the house, and he's gone. And so I'm just that energy is different too. When my nieces run over to you and you pick them up and you hug the little girls, just a different energy comes out of them, and they're smarter than boys.
Yeah, and more mature.
Until they're 13, and then they get dumb as hell from 13 to about 29.
Okay, they retired his jersey, and ironically enough, he actually took the exact same helicopter to that event. And then, like literally a day after his death was announced, he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Very, very well deserved.
Yeah.
I guess they pushed it along. And now over 1 million people have actually signed a petition to change the NBA logo to Kobe's silhouette.
I see it all. And I really think it should happen. I don't think Jerry West is broken up about this. And I know there's a lot of deaths, a lot of things happen in the older you get. But like this was like, Jerry was Kobe's guy. He based his whole career on this kid. And he loved this kid. So if they were to say, Jerry, do you mind? Jerry would be like, here, use this picture. It wouldn't come to him. It was a great honor having it. But the figure of Kobe is bigger than life right now. He's the biggest name. Dog, the impeachment of Donald Trump means nothing.
Yeah, you forget it's actually happening right now.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
It's all about Kobe right now.
It's not about.
Yeah. Even the LA the Lakers Clippers game was postponed.
Which is unheard of.
Yeah.
But the smartest thing in the world to do. It wasn't going to be right yet. People needed more time to grieve, and they needed some space. They needed to step out of the game for a second in order to get your head right before they step back into it. This is any kind of tragedy. You wouldn't send your kid back to school.
Yeah.
So I just say this kid deserves it all, and I'm looking at all the different pictures they have of it, and it's funny the picture they have is him dribbling when it should be him trying to dunk over his shoulder. I got a shirt that we made in my printing company, and it's I'm gonna get you one. It says Kobe 20 forever. I'm waiting on that.
20 forever.
I'm waiting on the trademark, but don't worry about it. Yeah, and I learned to trademark all my stuff, and I literally said to them, "Okay, this is the picture." I had to go through so many because I wanted his face on it. I didn't want it just to say it, the words. And they were like, "Well, you got to get the rights to the use of his face in his picture." So I literally the Kobe 24 life will be registered, but this picture to me is not. It's probably the proceeds will probably be donated something that he would want.
Yeah.
Because I literally couldn't think of, and I've never done anything like that. Like I say, I love Prince, and love Michael Jackson. Heavy D was my Ace Boone Coon. Whitney Houston, love Whitney, but nothing has hit me like this.
Yeah. What do you think was your single greatest moment with Kobe?
Winning championship. I would say my favorite time is we were in Minneapolis and we were eating at TGI Fridays. And I was like, "You're going to eat that?" He was like, "What, Sal? It's a dog." Dog, it's full of triglycerides and it just tons of oil, man. You're going to block your arteries. That was my joke. Can't believe you're going to eat a burger, right? Then he gets sick in Sacramento eating a hamburger. I don't think that happened ever since. It was like me wanting to say, "I told you so. I've been telling you a long time ago." I would say that. I would say one of my favorite moments is watching Shaq carry him off the bus in Indianapolis into practice.
Yeah.
That was big for me.
Well, you had him on your show.
Yeah.
The Best Damn Sports Show, period. It was very interesting to see like the interaction between you two. Yeah. Just kind of like messing with each other, kind of, you're talking about, switching jobs and, and so forth.
And I'm saying to him, "Sal, what you want me to say?" Like he would always think I'm trying to push you. I was, dude, because, I was always like, "No, do it this way. Man, they did it like this. Do it like this, young fella." People like, "I got it, Sal. I got it." And I was like, man, he had so much. But I would say, one, I had my boy Dow Cohen, who was the financial guy. First time we had an interview, my boy Dow Cohen saved me from dying financially. Don't work with him any longer, but he's with Matt Barnes now. And we're at the Laker game. And so we come downstairs, and I go, "Oh, let me show you the back way." I'm not thinking that Dow doesn't know there's a back way. So we go down. He goes, "What's this?" And we come out this way. They look at me, "Hey, Sal." I walk with Dow. And I go, "This is the weight room." This is before the game. And I push the door open, and Kobe's in there. And I walk in. "What's up, Sal?" What's up? "Kobe, that's Dow." "What's up, Dow?" He walks back out. Dow can't move. Because I don't know he's the biggest Kobe fan on the planet. He steps out the door, Vlad, and he's like, I walk him on the court. He comes back, tells his dad, "I just met Kobe Bryant." And had no idea that he hadn't met him, no idea how big of a fan he was of his. Just that kind of stuff. It was just I would say that the things that most people don't get to see, I like the most.
Well, Tracy McGrady just did an interview. Those two were very close.
Yeah.
Their daughters played together. And the thing that really shook me up was that Tracy said that Kobe would always tell him that he was going to die young.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Kobe say that?
No. What I heard and how he would say it to me is he said, I do everything young. I do it all young. So he was like, I'm going to retire. I'm going to work here. I'm going to retire by 32. I'm going to be, you know, he had in his mind what was going to happen and where he was going to move to next. Like it was all planned out already. I don't think he was worried about it because he was big on living in the moment and living and understanding it was temporary. After that case in Colorado, his mentality and having his kids is that was then. I'm out of it. I'm moving on to the point where I'm no longer 8. I'm 24. You know what I'm saying? It like he moved it to that point.
Oh, that's when he switched the numbers?
Yeah.
Oh, after the Colorado case.
Yeah.
He went from 8 to 24. I never realized that was what happened.
Yeah.
Oh, like a brand new start.
Yeah.
Was it 24 somehow play off 23?
2 times 4 is 8.
2 times 4 is 8.
So he was still 8, but
He was
twice
different. As much. Okay. So it wasn't one more than 23.
It was 2.
It was that too. Right, because, you know, in that same interview with Pippen, he said that there's no way Jordan can outshoot Kobe.
Yeah, he was a better shooter.
Yeah.
Well, he practiced at it more. Nobody. This is funny. Michael's hands are way bigger than Kobe.
Okay.
The hang time is different. Michael is physically different than Kobe. As dominating, but Michael's hands are like this big, so he could just pick the ball up. Like Kobe didn't have hands like that. So he was a little bit different. Kobe seemed a little bit more fluid, but MJ was unbelievable. And they both can use both hands.
Well, the whole thing about Tracy McGrady's comment, the first thing that it reminded me of was my interview with Mopreme Shakur, which is Tupac's stepbrother. And we talked about in our interview about how Tupac talked about death so much on his songs. I'm dying, I'm not gonna be here, death, I picture myself dying. Mm-hmm. The cover of Machiavelli is him getting shot with a bullet while on a crucifix. His last video was, you know, when he was in heaven. Mm-hmm. What song was that? Not Thug's Mansion? Or
Thugs Go to Heaven too?
Yeah, hold on. Tupac last music.
Are the Thugs in Heaven?
I wonder if
is there Ghetto in Heaven?
What is it? Hold on. It's
I'm trying to beat you, Vlad, before I can.
I ain't mad at you.
Oh yeah.
I ain't mad at you.
Yeah.
Right. Actually had Tupac in heaven.
He knew he was going to go early.
I'd heard that. I'd heard that before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd heard that he had this sort of drive in the studio where, like, I got to hurry up and get these songs out because I don't have a lot of time. I got to hurry up. Like, you know, I heard he would get angry at, like, producers and other rappers if they took too long.
Yep.
Because he had this urgency about him.
Yep. He had to express himself. He had to get it out. He had to get it out.
And it's one of those things, man, where words and thoughts become physical objects.
You manifest.
It becomes reality. If you're saying you're going to die young, you're going to die early, you will consciously or subconsciously be making decisions with your life that go along with that premise.
The universe is very specific. And I remember I have a friend, and I told her to write down everything she wants in a man. And I said, and leave nothing out, and don't worry about being selfish, self-centered, everything you want in a man to do. And she wrote everything but height. And she got the guy she wanted, he just wasn't tall. And she said, I remember that, and I never forgot that. So the words, you got to be careful of what you speak, right? If you speak evil, if you speak hate, it's really not, like I said, most fights are not over what it is. It's over something else. If you're angry, is when you lash out at people who have nothing to do with it, because you need a way to lash out. So it's very important how you spell things and what you put your spell on.
Yeah. Well, just overall a tragedy. It hasn't even been a year since Nipsey Hussle's funeral.
Oh, in March coming up.
Yeah, where he filled up the Staples Center. I can't even imagine what this funeral is about to look like.
This is, I don't want to be anybody's burden, but I have to be there.
You're going to be there?
Yeah, even if I got to just break through if I can't get, because I don't really talk to anybody at that organization. But, yeah, I'll figure it out.
Very sad, man. And there is a lot of focus on Vanessa. But think about the other families that were destroyed.
Yeah, whole families too.
Yeah, there was a husband, a wife, and their child that leaves behind one child in their family who is now an orphan.
Yeah.
His parents and sister just died out of nowhere. This other, there was a coach who died. Families were just destroyed. And then of course the pilot.
Yeah, and his people.
Yeah, all his. I don't know whether he was married with children, but
I just hope the whole money thing doesn't get to be public. I hope they all handled out and it's handled out well.
Yeah, I'm not. You're probably going to see some lawsuits. I'm almost sure of this. This is not something I'm hoping for.
The guy who was on the bike is probably going to have a lawsuit.
Oh yeah, that
he had to watch it. That he had to watch it, and that his camera was filming it. It's gonna be everybody. The sharks come out.
Yeah.
And I'm glad right now it's not around. I'm glad that it's still hitting home. This literally, I was already, one of my daughters was already up, not happy with me on some stuff, and I just text her. Well, the day my mother died, we were together, and she was, we don't need to be like this. And then a week later, it was starting back up, and then after this, I was like, you can argue all you want. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm not going to. It ends today, and that was on Sunday night.
You hear a lot of this. I forgot who was the basketball player that ended his beef with was it Kevin Durant?
Oh yeah, 50 Cent said he's not going to argue with anybody anymore on Twitter. He's not going to do that trolling thing. It just makes no sense. It's like you're standing still, because you do have to stand still to argue. So you're not moving forward.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins.
Oh.
Kendrick Perkins tweeted, he said, "I just want to tell you I love you, my brother, and whatever I did to hurt you, I'm sorry, bro, and hope you forgive me. I love you, bro. Real talk."
Oh, Kevin Durant.
To Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I think it's bringing a lot of people together. A
Yeah.
lot of people are realizing life is fragile, that you don't have a lot of time to make things right. People are coming together. It's having, there's a positive in this whole thing, but it's rough. And this actually happened down the street from my house.
Yeah.
Literally walking distance from my house. We actually went down and walked towards the crash site and walked as far as we could until the police, had it barricaded.
Yeah.
And just kind of, stood there with the other Lakers fans, and Kobe fans that are wearing their jerseys and holding each other and crying, and just kind of got to just sit there in the moment, in this madness. And then we went out for dinner later that night, and everyone's wearing their Kobe jerseys and everything. It's, this is felt worldwide, of course, but in LA, it's really...
He was LA.
He was LA.
He was LA, no question.
Yeah. Well, my condolences for your loss.
Thank you, man. I'm about to be your neighbor, too.
Oh, yeah? Moving to Calabasas?
Yeah, moving back.
Okay.
Back to Blacklist.
And really my extreme condolences about your
Yo,
mother.
I appreciate you, man. I love you, man.
love
I
you
really
too.
appreciate you.
I love you too, man. And I wish you all the best. And, you know, we're still here
Yeah.
to make the world a better place.
Mm-hmm.
And we're still here to deal with our loved ones and to put positive energy into the world and affect the millions of people that we do every time we do these interviews.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming in.
Oh,
I know
love it.
every major network has been calling you.
Yeah, they bad, but I gotta come hang out with my boy.
But you come to VladTV.
VladTV.
That's why I love you, man.
One love.
Until next time.
Peace.
Peace.